Hey everybody, Jay Superawesome here. I'd like to welcome you all to week number 52 of the TheHORRORman's SlashBack Saturday Challenge. This week's slasher movie theme is SlashBack Slashers, and I will be giving my review for Blood Massacre. Okay, so getting into the plot for this one. A group of criminals on the run from the police hijack a lone female motorist and force her to hide them from the law. She takes them to her family's home, a desolate rural farm where they can hide out. The gang proceeds to abuse and torture the Parker family with some very gruesome results. Okay, so getting into my thoughts for this one. With this week's slasher movie theme of SlashBack Slashers, we were simply challenged to watch and review a slasher movie that somebody else has already reviewed. So I chose to honor its creator, Joe the Horror Man, by reviewing Blood Massacre. The Horror Man reviewed Blood Massacre for this year's Week 29 Budget Slashers theme. It was a great review, and something I specifically remembered about his review, as he would go on to explain how Blood Massacre was a lost film for a while. The movie was directed by Don Dohler, and after he completed filming and gave it to his investors, he was told to refilm the movie at a lesser quality. And after refilming the movie, he once again gave it to his investors. Then the movie disappeared for years before it resurfaced, and he was finally able to release the film. An absolutely fascinating story which explains why IMDb has this movie listed as being released in 1991. But I'm pretty sure that I seen 1988 somewhere during the opening credits or the end credits on this VHS tape. But I have also seen 1987 listed as this movie's original release year. But regardless, from 1987 through 1991, this movie had one hell of a journey being made and released, and we're probably lucky it was even released at all. I did want to mention that if anybody is interested in seeing this movie, it's available to watch right here on YouTube. I'm not sure what the quality of it is, but I can say that Blood Massacre is an extremely low-budget slasher movie, so I know that might not be appealing to some people, but I did have a blast watching this one. The quality of the way the movie was shot and filmed is a little of a mixed bag for me. At times, it was too dark. Other times, we would see things from odd camera angles. The movie overall has a low-budget, gritty look, even for my standards. But after the movie got going, I settled in, and I ended up really liking the movie's gritty look. I mentioned seeing things from odd camera angles towards the last half of the film. When things really start to pick up and things start to happen, we get some truly unique camera angles, even to the point of being Evil Dead type stuff. Now, of course, nowhere near on that level, but still, the movie really does pick up on all levels of entertainment towards the end. Now, when I read the plot description, I deliberately didn't give the full description on the back of this VHS because I felt like it went into spoiler territory. This movie truly has some fun twists and turns, and for that reason, I chose to keep the plot description short and simple. Something else that I wanted to mention is that I really like the music and the tone it set for this movie. I even like the tripped out laughing that seemed to carry on and on towards the end of the film. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the cast of characters we have in Blood Massacre. So we have two groups of characters in this movie. We have the Parker family and a group of vigilante criminals that are led by two former war veterans. There's a really awesome scene in this movie where they rob a video rental store. People are browsing and renting VHS tapes. It was a cool scene, seeing the classic posters on the wall and the VHS tapes on the shelves. And there was also a really neat Freddy Krueger cardboard cutout setting on the checkout counter. They escape only to later run out of gas. They kidnap a woman who takes them back to her family home. The Parkers seem like a nice enough family, who have even rented out one of their guest rooms in their house to a young girl. The two groups collide with one of the most bizarre conclusions you can possibly imagine. Overall, I really did enjoy these characters, even though the acting wasn't all that great, but I still think it worked for what this movie was going for. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the most important part of a slasher movie, that is the killer and the kills. And with the way this movie is set up, there's not really a lot I'm going to be able to say. We have the Parker family versus the group of vigilante criminals in a kill or be killed type scenario. And that's all I'm really going to be able to say, because this movie has twists that you have to see to believe. And as far as the kills go in this movie, it has a decent body count with a pretty wide variety of kills. It has a decent amount of blood and gore, but probably not quite as much as you would expect for a movie titled Blood Massacre. We have a person who gets their head chopped off by a sickle, which is my personal favorite in this movie. It was a perfectly set up scene, but we also have stabbings. A person gets a wooden stake through their chest. Another person gets killed by repeatedly being stabbed by a spear or being jabbed over and over by a spear. One of the war veterans is also setting traps around the property. Also, he handcrafts his own weapons using saw blades. Very awesome stuff. Overall, I really enjoyed Blood Massacre. It's definitely a movie that I will revisit from time to time. I have had this VHS tape in my collection for at least 20 years, and for some reason, I had never watched it until now. And I'm glad I did. And that's one thing that I can say that I have enjoyed about the SlashBack Saturday Challenge. It got me to watching slasher movies that I had in my collection, and a lot of them that I had never seen before, and I still have plenty more. I just wanted to take the time to thank Joe the Horror Man for creating the SlashBack Saturday Challenge. I have enjoyed watching and reviewing slasher movies. I also wanted to thank everybody who has supported me and my channel. I appreciate you watching and commenting on my SlashBack Saturday videos, all the way up until this final review for this series. I truly appreciate it. Just remember, evil never dies, it just rests a while. It watches, it waits. I'm going to give Blood Massacre a 6.5 out of 10. Please like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know if you have seen Blood Massacre, or just let me know what you think about my review. And as always, I would like to thank you all for watching.